See ourstore.ie for a range of great sporting gifts.
So, just a question about Rory Gallagher. Can you think of any other manager whose voice carries as much as his does? Because, like, if you're watching a Derry game on TV, you can barely hear the commentary with Rory roaring on the sideline.
He's a serious man, and you should hear him in the training pitch. It's even worse. But behind all of that, there's an intelligence and a charisma that I've never seen better than. And if he's watching this or hears this, he's going to be a smile on his face because he's saying McKaig's giving me a compliment, which doesn't happen too often. But he really is. His intelligence, his IQ, his charisma, his style of man managing away from the pitch and talking to players and chatting to players is brilliant too. I mean, and again, anybody that thinks about it is going to say, well, of course that's true, because gone are the days of shouting and roaring along the sideline and getting the best out of the team. You might think that the way he's doing it, but it's a very different approach the vast majority of the time. And he might even tone it down a wee bit this year, but I doubt it.
And then I suppose just coming back to Dunloy again this weekend, they have some classy forwards, especially the ones coming to mind is Conal Cunning, of course, and I know he's a midfielder, but Keelan Malloy, what a player he is going forward.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it, isn't it? It's like the Portaferry lads last week, and then even to a bigger extent this week, having a lot of lads that are playing inter-county hurling at a really good standard gives them a really good platform for hurling at club level. We can't say the same, unfortunately. Yes, we have a lot of lads playing for Derry hurling and had a relatively decent year last year, but for the Antrim lads and the Loy lads to be playing at that sort of Joe McDonagh level and indeed beyond it now gives them a really good platform. And they're hurling throughout the majority of the year where we're not. So that's something we're conscious of, but it's not an excuse. And it means that we're going to be on our game and give Dunloy the full respect that we always do. But of course, Keelan Malloy and Conal Cunning are on our radar because they're two superstar players and two of the best players in Ulster at the minute, and they've had the two of them have had fantastic years for Antrim also, playing at a really good level. So, hey, it bodes well. I want to be playing against the best, and Dunloy are certainly one of the best in Ulster.
Yeah, I think we're both really looking forward to that game. Well, all three of us, you are obviously too. Final question then before we let you go. Mickey Harte, there was a big story that he was going to Slaughtneil. What was your understanding of it?
Well, I can fill you in. So we'd be disappointed with some of the journalism that came out of it. Thankfully, a lot of the journalists then reached out to the club and asked about the truth of the story, and obviously there was no substance to the story. But it probably did grow legs from the fact that Gavin Devlin, who's assistant manager with Mickey and has been for a long time, trained us for 2 years. The COVID year won the championship. Gavin was instrumental, and the year after Glen beat us in the final, Gavin was there, albeit less that year because Louth were back and then our county season was going. So I'm fairly sure that's where it grew legs from. And that was the link there, because Gavin's obviously still involved with Louth, was involved with us. But I just think sometimes we talk about journalists gaining or not wanting guarded interviews and guarded questions from players, but when you see that type of journalism being spouted about, it's understandable why players then would be guarded and things like that. I think it's always important to check your sources out and to ask people the truth first before things are publicised, because it's very easy for things to grow legs. But I'm glad you've asked that question, and I'm glad I'm able to give you the truthful answer to it. There was no substance to it, but if Mickey Harte's listening and he's free in years to come, would we be interested? Absolutely, yes.
See ourstore.ie for a range of great sporting gifts.